This week on Pole House Blackpot Weekend Getaways, we're going to Russia.
Yeah, we're doing
on our front porch.
We're doing old school Stroganoff
from 1871. So stick around. Now, I know it's been a little over a month since we had a video out, and when that one was just to say what we were doing, and then life kind of got in the way. My mom had to move in an assisted living facility, which meant we had to sell her house, which it sold, but now we have the great task of getting rid of all the contents.
Yeah.
If you're wondering why we are not dressed like we're supposed to be on camera, we're working in Mom's house, but we still need to have some supper. So we were watching a YouTube channel that we like called Tasting History.
Yeah, he does a lot of neat stuff where he does finds most of them are old school recipes,
yes.
Of course.
And he has to do all the research to figuring out and testing to figure out what the measurements are, which you ought to go watch his.
Yeah, he got some neat old school stuff that they did recipes that were totally different, or different countries,
and
so things were different.
You ought to watch him, because he was actually, I think, he worked for something like Disney or something like that. And when 2020 rolled around and he got laid off, he started this YouTube channel. He found out that he liked it. So, like I said, we get our inspiration from lots of places. We just saw this one yesterday and decided we put our spin on it.
Yeah, it's kind of still winter time, even though today, surprisingly, is above warm compared to what we've had, but it's kind of a comfort food, I think. So it'll be good for winter time.
It's a stroganoff, but this one does not have mushrooms in it, and I thought I would like that a lot.
We did a kind of a modern spin, the normal modern spin that we're used to, a couple of years ago when we were camping, and we'll probably link that down below so you can watch that. It's a wonderful recipe, but this one is just a little bit different, a little kind of more simple too.
Yes. So we're going to get around. It's in 2 sections, which is great because we got to go work over at Mom's house. Somebody's coming to get a big piece of furniture, so we got to get over there.
Yeah. All right. So we'll be right back and get the first step going.
Okay, I'm going to do this first part. Like I said, we got to get, so we're just waiting on a phone call. This first part calls for beef. If you know us, you know we don't often have beef roasts in this house. But we often do have deer. It's almost 2 pounds of meat that we've diced up.
Or also known as venison.
Venison, yes. To this, we're going to add 2 teaspoons, give or take, of salt. And guess what? That's going to pretty well do us on that salt thing. And 1 teaspoon of allspice. Now I'm just using a regular teaspoon strictly because it doesn't have to be exact because we're not baking.
And
this is
the
Jamaican
video
allspice.
did say that there was a little bit of discrepancy on what actually was a teaspoon and tablespoons back in 1871. When this was, like I said, this was a 1871 recipe from a cookbook published then out of Russia, correct?
Yes, it was like our equivalent of Good Housekeeping. All right, we mix that up. We're going to cover it up. See, it's all mixed up. It's kind of got an interesting smell. We're going to cover it and put it in the fridge for at least 2 hours. That's it for right now. I guess I'm doing this. Oh, you said you were going to do that. Now, we're deviating almost from the get-go from the recipe that was on Tasting History. For one thing, he said it could have cooked longer. Part of Dutch oven cooking is taking your time. So, we're going to take our time. I put 6 tablespoons of butter in this Dutch oven, and I'm going to let that just kind of melt just a minute.
We're using salted butter, right?
Yes,
You could probably use either one.
Yeah, and since meat has salt on it already. Now, there's a couple things that I'm kind of concerned about. That allspice, I've never had meat with allspice on it, so we'll see how that tastes. We have never fixed this before, so. All right. Now.
It said to brown it, right?
Yes, it did. So I'm going to put this in here. And he did something weird after he browned his meat. Well, first of all, we're going to let this cook in the beef stock for probably about a half hour, because we want to make sure our meat's real good and tender.
Yeah.
But then, after he browned his meat, he took the meat out, and then he did something strange, which I don't understand. He took, and he was following the recipe that they had there. He took the butter that was left over after the meat had cooked out. We're not going to do that.
Yeah, because he added the other 2 tablespoons of butter back in and made his roux with it. But we're going to do it different. We're going to make the roux later, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going to let this simmer for, I don't know, about 30 minutes. Let that meat get real good and tender after we've browned it. And then we're going to add the rest of the ingredients.
Now, he did say that to do that short cook time, which you could do, and it would be okay, but you'd have to use some good, like, ribeye, steak
Tender
meat.
beef.
Some tender beef, not any type of stew meat or anything like that. And we're just doing regular venison.
Well, we're using some of the tenderest. That backstrap is as tender as you can get, for the most part, on a deer. So that's why I picked that. So after this is browned, we'll come back and show you what we're going to do.
Okay, our charcoal is about done.
About ready to use.
So what we're going to do is pull this all off the table. Alright, let's see, let me get this out of the way for us. Because we're going to need our lid here in a minute. And I'm going to just go ahead and dump some of this down on the bottom. So that way we can have a nice fair amount around the bottom of the Dutch oven.
That smells different cooking, doesn't it?
It does. So we're going to do a little bit more on the bottom than normal because we're not really baking.
And we're going to have plenty of liquid in there too, and it's not something that would easily burn.
We're more like stewing. So a lot of times with stewing, we'll do more half and half. So okay, I'll get this out here. Okay. Get them rearranged. Now we're not done yet, right?
No.
We got to add some more stuff.
Now we're going out of order from what he said to do. I said we were going to make it our own.
So usually kind of the same. Should be about the same flavors, though,
Yeah, it
right?
should be about the same flavor.
Get this out of the way for a minute. And we can put this here.
Now,
And put the lid off.
1 teaspoon of black pepper.
Okay, there we go.
So I'm going to guesstimate on my black pepper. That's about a teaspoon. I'm going to sprinkle that around. And he said 2 tablespoons, and he named it. I'm not going to butcher that. He said Dijon would be fine. Well, we didn't have any Dijon. So we're using spicy brown. 2 tablespoons of spicy brown mustard. We're going to call that 1. You know, my wrist still ain't quite up to snuff.
I'm gonna grab your spoon.
Can you squeeze this
That's
spicy
enough,
mustard,
probably.
you think?
Yeah, because that's pretty heaping. You can pour this over top of that. Get that mustard on. This is what, 2 cups
Of
beef
Now,
stock.
he called for a cup and a half, but it didn't have enough liquid, he didn't think. And
This
since
is
we're
gonna be-
letting this cook a little while,
Longer, yeah.
we'll know there's some evaporation gonna be happening. Looks kind of different, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're gonna put the lid on this and let it cook for about a half hour.
All right.
We'll be back.
Back. Just thought I'd check here. It's been 15 minutes. Make sure there's plenty of moisture in there. There is. So, put the lid back on. Probably got about another 15 minutes or so, and then see how tender our meat's getting. Okay, we've cooked 30 minutes.
Yep.
Grab this spoon over there, huh?
Alrighty. This is how it looks right now. Oh, it smells good, doesn't
It
it?
does.
Alright, now we're going to pull this out.
We're gonna put it over in there.
Yep.
Okay. You might just set it there, and I'll come over there to you that
I'm
way.
just going to sit
It's
right
pretty
here.
hot. I don't want to spin it on you. I'm gonna pull the meat.
Yep, pull everything out. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna put it back on the charcoal.
Now,
And
you're going to
actually-
take this.
And while you're working on that, I am also gonna take, real quick, some of these coals. I'm gonna put them back under.
I'm adding 2 tablespoons more of butter. Now, we're going to make a roux. Normally, we would salt our roux. But we figure that liquid is going to be salty enough. Put 2 tablespoons of butter in here. To that I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of flour. That's a pretty good honest ratio.
Equal parts.
Yep, it
Equal
is
amounts.
equal parts. Honey, you know I forgot something.
What's that?
Sour cream.
Oh. Okay. I'll go get sour cream.
We're going to let this cook for just a few minutes and get some of the pasty flavor out. Man, I wish you guys had smell-o-vision out here right now. Now, that should be cooked enough. I'm going to add this yummy goodness back. There. See how thick that already is getting? Now I said 2 tablespoons. I think I'm going to add a little bit more. Because their sour cream was really thick.
Yeah, it was a different kind of sour cream.
Our
or something.
commercial sour cream is not that thick. He had a special name for it. I can't remember what the name was. Now, we're going to bring this up to a boil again. Put the lid on it. Bring it up to temp, and then we're going to show you, first of all, what it looks like when we get back. And second of all, we're going to serve it on some noodles that we're cooking right now.
Yeah, he said one of
They
the
were potato sticks, which
potato
is a
straws they
potato
call
straw,
them. And that was,
which is like a French fry,
Yeah.
only thinner.
and one of the things that maybe they come up with that combination was, they think, was even though it was a Russian recipe, kind of, sort of, Russian cookbook that it was in 1871. Later on in the early 1900s, a lot of them chefs that cooked for the upper class Russian
We're French.
were French.
Yeah.
So we don't know for sure where this recipe originally came from, but looks like it's definitely the same.
Put the lid back on top of there. We're going to let it do its thing.
Back to temp. Go from there. Okay.
And we'll be back in just a few minutes, serving and tasting. I can't wait. All right, are you hungry? Because I'm ready to try
Let's see
this.
what it looks like.
Ooh, it smells good.
Yes, it does.
I got us a little different spoon. Now it probably has too much broth on it, but
That probably could be a little thicker, couldn't it?
yeah, I could. But you know, I already embellished the recipe enough by changing the meat and changing how long we cooked it. All right, now that should be enough of that. Now look at that. Ooh, I think this has become a new favorite. A piece of meat. Oh my God. You don't get any. Oh, you better come taste this. That allspice is just a different flavor.
It is.
It's tender. I'm glad we cooked it as long as we did.
We needed it.
It's
That's pretty
not
good.
overly salty. There's nothing in it that sticks out more than the others. It's just
really.
plain decadent. It's good.
Yeah, it's just that little bit of sauce. So we didn't need any more salt. It's got
No,
enough
it's
salt.
got plenty
your
of
chicken,
salt in it.
Your beef stock usually has quite a bit of sodium in it.
Yes,
so you
it
don't
does.
need to. You got to watch
So
that. But
we're glad you joined us on this video. We hope you liked it. You know, you might want to check out Taste and History. We like that show.
it's a good one. Yeah.
It is a very good show. And we'll see you next week. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like. And give us some ideas of things you'd like to see cooked on this
Yeah,
channel.
it's still wintertime. We still need some more comfort food.
Yeah,
we got
we
another
do.
one we're probably going to do here soon. So, and we
Well,
haven't
that's a
done.
new comfort
This is a
thing.
new
I'm going
comfort
to be
one.
fixing
Yeah.
this again. So you have a great week and thanks for watching.
All righty, bye everybody.